hopefully fit more of the building in this.
Actually, I told Jimmy that Jenny wants.
Hello. I think we're good to go. Hey everyone, my name is Caffrey and welcome back to what I like to call the cozy corner here on YouTube, where we like to discuss everything about film photography or film and cameras in general. I hope you guys have been well. Comment down below how your week went. I want to know. As mentioned, I am in Dubai at the moment and I'm going to be here for a while. This move to Dubai was very random and spontaneous, but at the same time I was like, why not? One person that really convinced me to move to Dubai was one of my best friends, Haikal is an insanely close family friend, but I just call a brother at this point. Our parents are best friends, our siblings are very close friends. Him and I were literally raised as babies right next to each other since we were neighbors in the Philippines back in like 98, 99.
Okay.
Just let go of the
brake slowly.
There's a car. Okay. We're gonna be here for 2 hours and I'll be hungry and Patricia will come out. There's another car, just wait for it. Go!
I didn't really plan what type of film I was going to shoot for this trip. I just basically loaded whatever I had, and for this trip I had another roll of Kodak Color Plus, which as you know is like a very warm tone and is also one of Kodak's cheaper film stocks. I wasn't too sure how that was going to look here in Dubai just because it is a very warm film stock by itself and Dubai is incredibly sunny. For the majority of the trip I was just following Haikal around whilst he was working and doing my own thing whilst waiting for him to finish his work. For one day he had work around the Dubai Mall, which as you know is one of the most popular mall here in Dubai, and I think it's the biggest. I've been to Dubai Mall a few times but I never really explored the outside area, especially around the fountains, and I feel like there's some cool spots there, especially considering that you get to really see the Burj Khalifa, which if you didn't know is the tallest building in the bloody world, popping up every now and then no matter where you are just because it's that tall. That right there is the bottom of the Burj Khalifa. I've got my Canon A1 here and I'm going to put in some Kodak Color Plus. It's going to be my first roll here in Dubai. I haven't done any film photos yet, just been shooting a bunch of videos to edit together. I might share that on this channel, who knows, but yeah, let's go ahead and load this Color Plus. Look at that. So high I can't even get any lens to fit that entire building in frame. This is the Color Plus with 36 exposures. I'm probably going to get like 34 just because I load it so badly. I'm very lucky because I came to Dubai at like just the right time. It's not too hot and if anything it's quite cold. It gets to like 20 degrees Celsius at some parts of the day. That was a lot smoother than I thought it was going to be. So a bunch of people are staring at me talking to my iPhone, but I had to get the shot because look at that, man. The first time I ever saw that, it was like 2008 or 9, no, probably like 2007, I don't know, some late 2000. It was still under construction and here I am at 26 right in front of it. Wild. Okay, stop talking. So now I'm just going to walk around, probably get some brunch because it's like almost 1 p.m. and I haven't eaten yet, and we'll see if we can get some cool photos along the way. I'm going to try and walk a wee bit further just to get more distance between the Burj Khalifa and I. I shot all of these photos on my Canon A1, which was my second time shooting on this camera, and on this first day around the Dubai Mall I was shooting on my 50mm 1.8, which is a very cool lens and I love it. A 50mm 1.2 is my favorite lens of all time. I love portrait lenses, but for this day in particular it wasn't the smartest lens to bring along, mainly because it is incredibly tight, and if you're shooting the Burj Khalifa, that thing is just huge. That's the tallest building in the world. I don't know why I thought to bring a very tight 50mm lens because I definitely couldn't capture all of it. That was a fail. I would have to walk so many blocks just to capture that whole building in one frame. I wish I brought my 18mm on me, but you live and you learn. I just surprised myself on how that completely slipped my mind, you know. As usual, I do have my laptop on me right now to walk through these photos with you, and despite having a lens that made shooting a wee bit more difficult for me that day, I'm still quite happy with these photos, especially of this one photo of a UAE flag just waving in the wind. I actually waited what felt about like 2 minutes or so just to shoot this photo because I really wanted that flag to be waving in the wind, and despite it to being very windy, the flag was just down the majority of the time, so I had to really time this photo, but I'm quite happy with how it came out. Besides the UAE flag, how I think this photo really does capture Dubai well is that Emaar sign or building in the background. If you guys didn't know, Emaar is one of the, or probably the biggest like real estate and construction company out here in Dubai. I think it's a real estate or construction company, but they pretty much like own the majority of the buildings out here in Dubai. You can't go driving without seeing that Emaar tag everywhere. I think this really does capture my introduction to Dubai well, because one thing that I really do remember are those Emaar buildings. Talking about buildings, I feel like when you're in the center of Dubai, somewhere near Business Bay, you just can't help but notice all of the tall buildings. And I like how this photo frames it well, especially with the Burj Khalifa right at the center there. I wish I would have stepped a wee bit more to the right to get the Burj more centered, but it's okay. One thing you'll notice throughout these photos and basically the entire roll are these light leaks. Light leaks occur when there's basically very tiny or small gaps in your camera where lights can pass through and somewhat expose your film. Many artists use light leaks as an effect for their photos or for a dramatic purpose, but for me, this was not planned. But at the same time, I'm not mad at how this looks, because it does make the photos look a lot cooler and give it more character, just because you can't get these light leaks on digital, of course. And to think that these are natural light leaks and not edited in post makes it even better. Another very popular and touristy area that we did visit was Jumeirah Beach Residence, which has one of the most recognizable landmarks in Dubai, and I have my phone out right now for ChatGPT to confirm this, but it's called Ain Dubai. I think it's called Ain. I'm butchering a bunch of names here, I'm sorry, but I'm pretty sure it's pronounced Ain Dubai, and that's basically the world's largest observation wheel located on Blue Waters Island in Dubai. And it's one of the most recognizable landmarks in Dubai and is a prime spot for photography. I had no clue about any of this. We just showed up there and I was like, oh, the London Eye, you know? Considering that it is a prime spot for photography, I may want to visit again in the near future around sunrise or sunset and really plan out my shots here. But I just snapped these photos just as I was walking by, just because landmark photography and all these famous spots, they aren't really my thing when it comes to photography. I really like shooting special moments and once in a lifetime moments that you can't really capture again. And I don't really feel that with like landmark photography or shooting famous spots, you know, but it was still very cool to see it and I'm still very grateful to have explored the area. I also feel like these shots were just me practicing my composition with photos and seeing how I can frame these massive buildings. Really quick and random, you're probably wondering who these two kids are, but these are my neighbors here in Dubai, Anna and Clara. They're sisters from Portugal and they are the sweetest kids that always come up and greet me when I'm working in the lobby and give me a hug and ask me how my day is going. They're also 100% watching this video. A few days later, a high car drove me to Seef or Seef Market, which is a very popular market and shopping area here in Dubai. It's a very cool shopping spot next to a body of water that has a ton of boats, but I also just really enjoyed the drive there.
I think this is prison.
What was very special about this day was just as we were arriving to Seef, one thing we couldn't help but notice were the amount of birds surrounding the area. And after pulling over, we saw why, because there was one gentleman there just feeding all of these birds, and he was a very kind gentleman telling us about the birds and asking if we want our own photo or video of them, which of course we did get. I can't lie, I was really caught up in the moment here and just shot a ton of videos. I didn't shoot as many film photos, but I am very happy with these 3 photos that show the birds. This one photo in particular, with this building peeking out on the left hand side, on the bottom left hand side, and these 2 birds flying by, I also timed this photo as best as I could. I was literally looking up like this with that frame for about maybe a minute or 2. But I love the contrast of that brown building against that blue sky and the clouds peeking up at the bottom there. Even the small details of the rest of the birds just relaxing on the building. This is definitely one of the better composed photos from the roll, and I just love its natural color. When it came to around sunset, we were planning to meet some friends for dinner, but whilst we were waiting for them, I said let's go by the water where there's a ton of boats and even more birds and shoot some more photos down there. This was when a very special moment happened for me, because I was just there taking photos with my Canon A1, and a mother and father of one saw me from afar and saw me taking photos on my camera, and I noticed that they were also taking photos of themselves and their baby daughter, but on their iPhone. Out of nowhere, this very lovely couple approached me and asked, can you please take a photo of our baby daughter, because we only have photos of her taken on our phones. They were like, we really don't have any professional photos taken of her, just a few would be very nice. And of course, instantly I was just so touched that they would even come up and ask me that. And this is also what I love about photography, because it's just a great way of meeting new people. I was like, I would absolutely love to, but I had to let them know that this is a film camera, so you guys won't get the photos right away. If anything, a week or 2 from now, I can email it to you if that's okay. And they were like, 100% that's okay, we have no problem, take your time. But I eventually did email them the photos. They loved it, and here they are. Firstly, can we just talk about how cute this little baby girl is? Her smile is so precious. I love her little hair and her matching outfit as well. This is what I was talking about earlier with what I love about photography, just capturing those once in a lifetime special moments. And these are the first photos of this baby captured on camera, let alone a film camera, which to be honest is wild, because it just shows how fast things are moving. Like, I think my generation, I was born in 98, and I feel like my generation was the last generation whose baby photos weren't taken on phones, you know, or digital cameras. But to be honest, these photos could be better. I wasn't happy with it as a photographer. Don't get me wrong, the birds in the background are very nice. The baby's smile is the cutest thing ever, but my exposure here is just all messed up. And a big reason for this is just because they were against the light, so their faces are always slightly underexposed, and it was quite hard to find a balance there, especially on a film camera. This was all shot in like 3 to 5 minutes or so it went by very fast. And of course, during the moment, I was thinking I should definitely shoot them on this side, you know, as the light is actually shining on their faces. But the problem was that the background was just not nice, you know, it's just like a concrete jungle in the background, and you weren't really able to see the water of a boat. So I was like, I'd rather choose this, a slightly messed up exposed photo, compared to one that's just like completely ugly in the background. By doing so, I also have a chance of saving this photo in post by tweaking the highlights and shadows and so on and so forth. And they said that these are great photos and they're over the moon with them, so that's all that matters. We ended the day off just walking around Seef market with our friends, and I got a few more photos of high call here by this water, just looking all sexy and that, you know. I was trying my best to finish this roll off before the sun went down, just because I know Canon cameras in general are terrible in low light, and you can start seeing the underexposure issues just coming out in these photos here. But surprisingly, some still did come out alright, such as this one photo of all the spices, considering that there was a warm light projected onto these spices. I was talking to the owner of the stand, and he was very funny, trying to get me to buy and all of that. But I asked him, can you stand by your stand here and let me get a photo of you? And he just stood there, and I got this photo. The pose is definitely a bit awkward, but he was in mid-conversation with my friends and high call as well. This here is the last photo taken on this road, and I want to talk about it because despite it being underexposed, it still gives off a very cozy and comforting feeling. I love the structure of this photo, how that roof is just hanging over diagonally, and you have all of these light bulbs just hanging from that one roof, and those light bulbs just basically let you see everything that you need to see. You have a colorful scarves, you have mannequins, and you can just see inside the shop, and just in the background there you have the lighting of another shop. But I feel like this photo and this shop in general is very welcoming, and it is a very well balanced photo despite the possibility of the lighting being improved. This entire trip and photos was just a very run and gun approach. You know, I shot all of this on automatic mode. I didn't bring any external lighting, I didn't bring my light meter. This trip was mainly just for me to experience Dubai and bring my cameras along with me. But looking back at these photos, I really do want to visit areas like Al Seef market again, but this time strictly for photography purposes, where I will bring my tripod, my light meter, my shutter release cable, and really take my time with these photos and expose them properly, because I feel like of course there's a lot of room for improvement here, especially with the exposure. But if I do take my time with them and go there with the sole purpose of just taking photos, then we can get some beautiful shots for sure. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I hope you guys did enjoy this video and these photos that I did share with you of my first roll here in Dubai and my first real visit here in Dubai. I visited way back in like 2007 or so, where the Burj Khalifa was still being built. I remember it quite well, but this is like my first time really experiencing Dubai, and I'm happy that I did capture it on video and through these photos. I always do appreciate the time that you guys do take to sit down with me and discuss these photos and share our love for film photography together. If you did love this video, please consider subscribing and liking this video, because liking this video tells YouTube that these videos are worth pushing out to newer and more audiences. Additionally, follow me on Instagram at Caffrey Cameron. That's where I'm most active, and whatever photos you do see in these videos you will see on Instagram first. I also love talking and meeting a bunch of you guys on Instagram. A lot of you come from YouTube to DM me on there, and all these conversations are very fun to have. So please feel free to shoot me a message, comment down below, like, share, subscribe. Make sure you guys drink your water, get enough sleep, hit the gym. Bye.